Hi guys, my name is Mike Zucchino and I'm here with,
Michael Goff.
and today I'm going to be interviewing Mike Goff on how to handle some objections when sharing your story and getting past those objections to bring people to the next step, which is either your three-way call or mixer or even a webinar. So Mike, I know when I'm sharing my story, one of the things that comes up a lot is people tell me that they just don't have time. How do you handle that?
Good question. So, guys, thanks for hopping on this video real quick. And we're going to have some fun today. So, if we cut up or laugh or any of that stuff, or if you notice a small dog in his lap, it's totally okay. But so, no time. When you share your story, you're always going to get that, right? Man, I don't have time for this. Because people think that this is a business like anything else that takes 60, 70, 80 hours a week to get off the ground. And it's just not the case. So, if I'm sharing my story with someone and I end with that question, hey, I'm on track to make $500 this month and I want to know if you're interested in that. And they say, well, that sounds great, but I don't have time. Then what I typically do is I use the feel, felt, found method. Mm-hmm. So I'll say, if I'm on a call or face to face with someone, I'll say, Mike, man, I completely understand how you feel. I felt the same way 4 years ago, but here's what I found. I built Advocare while working 80 hours a week because my mentor sat me down and showed me how to build this thing part-time. And within a year, I actually earned all my time back because I doubled my income and I could step away from my job. And man, I know I could help you do the same thing. When can you give me 15 minutes to show you what this is all about?
That's awesome. That sounds perfect.
Yeah. One thing too, another route that I go if it's a close friend and you want to speak strongly to them is you can say, hey, Mike, I feel you. I was there a few years ago, but here's what I found. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And man, I want to help you earn your time back because I know those two kids you have at home are more important to you than spending 70 hours a week at the job away from them. So when can you give me 15 minutes? I really want to share this with you.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Awesome. Well, and I think that kind of segues us right into the next one, guys, because they're the top two I think we get, and they're kind of relatable, but they are separate. So I think the other one I would like to touch on is when someone says they just don't have money.
So if someone tells me they don't have any money, I instantly go straight to the business side. And I use the same thing. Hey, man, I felt the same way. Or I feel you. I felt the same way 4 years ago when I started because I only had $100 in my bank account. I had no savings. I had no, IRAs, no nothing. I said, but within a year, that all drastically changed. And here's what I did. And I'll segue into that story, kind of speak to strength with them about the business and what it can do for them and try to set up that appointment. So when do you have 15 minutes that I can show you this business? Sometimes if it's a product driven thing about money, because you're going to be sharing products with people and they're going to say, hey, I don't have any money. Well, again, I segue to business because here's the thing, guys, people see this. If they're already broke and you're going, hey man, you need to try the Spark stuff, blah, blah, it's $20. They're going, I just told you I'm broke and you're trying to sell me something that's more money. So they don't want any part of that. But what if you sell them an opportunity? What if you go, hey man, I understand and I'm not trying to sell you any products. I'm trying to sell you a lifestyle and an opportunity where you can put some extra income into your wallet so that you and your family can take some of that load off your shoulders. When can you give me 15 minutes to share this with you? What's another way people word it? Because I know sometimes you're going to get those stubborn friends that they don't want to get on a call, right? And they're just, how much is it? What's the bottom line? What can I do?
Yeah, instead of just coming out and saying, I don't have the money, they may kind of hide behind it and just say, well, how much does it cost? Because and the hiding factor might be that they're worried about it being too expensive and not having money.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, respect people's dignity. I know when I was a guy and only had $100 in my account, I didn't want anyone to know. So I was prideful. I wasn't going to tell them, hey, this is my situation and I'm broke. I would just kind of hide behind money and ask, well, how much is it? Because then that was my excuse. Oh, I don't feel like paying that. When in reality, I wanted it. I just didn't have the money for it. But one thing I do when it comes to products is I'll go, well, hey, Mike, it really depends on what your goals are. But here's what I found. My buddy Mike, he's helping me with this thing. And he can talk to you too and get some based on your goals and your budget. But here's what he told me. We can get you on anything as little as $2 a day all the way up to $8 a day. So I know we can find something that fits your budget and your goals.
Yeah.
And if they're stubborn and they don't want the call, maybe that's sending them an email. with a good, better, best scenario of here's Spark, which can be like $1 a day.
Yeah.
Better would be M&S and Spark, which can be $3, $4, $5 a day, or best 24-day challenge. So give them options and let them choose. Because if you respect that relationship and you get them on some products and they're feeling better, then more than likely you might have a conversation about business a month, 6 months down the road when they've dropped 5 pounds and they're feeling awesome. And now you've built that trust with them where they go, hey, tell me more about this business thing that you shared with me before.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that because we don't want to pigeonhole people here and say that you have to start with a 24-day challenge. There are lots of options here, and giving them those options of being able to come in and start for $1 a day, $2 a day opens the door for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. True
That's
story.
good. And the other thing I wanted to touch on too is those top 2 excuses where people will give us where they don't have time, they don't have money. Don't let those go by without talking to people with strength about that, guys, because those are reasons that they need to get involved with this. If they don't have time, they don't have money, what does Advocare do? It helps people get time and money back into their life. So if they don't have it, then they need to hear about this.
That's good. That's good right there. That's gold in the tape. So, real life scenario, guys. I'm meeting Mike for a one-on-one because I wanted to share Advocare with him, right? So, we're sitting at lunch at our local favorite restaurant where they allow dogs in your lap and pink shirts and zebra striped chairs, okay? So we're sitting there and Mike goes, well, hey, what's this Advocare thing you want to tell me about? So I would then go into my quick 30-second to a minute story. So I'm like, hey, Mike, man, I've been waiting to share this with you for a while. So Advocare, it's a nutritional company, world-class nutritional company. I got involved 4 years ago. And man, I tell you what, I was skeptical at the time, but I got on products, dropped 20 pounds. I went from a 36 to a 32 on my waist. And I had my abs back for the first time since high school, man. I felt great. But if I'm going to be honest with you, where I needed this more than anything was opportunity. Because 4 years ago, I was working 3 jobs, 80 hours a week. And I was missing out on all that time with my family. And I saw my good friends, Sean and Allie Gwynn, full-time stay-at-home parents making $6,000 a month, and their friends, Michael and Kimberly Smith, making $20,000. So I went to them and said, show me what you're doing because I wanted some relief in my life. And with their help and guidance and about 30 minutes a day, I made $1,600 my first month in this business, helping other people get results on products. And within a year, I doubled my income from my full-time job, and I had the ability to walk away. And I've been doing Advocare full-time ever since, man. So I'm just excited because I'm looking for people like-minded to help out. So, man, what part of that interests you the most, the products or the business?
And this is something potentially that you'll get after sharing that story. Well, man, that sounds good and all, but is that one of those pyramid scheme things I always hear about?
Oh, bro, dude, I know what you're saying because I asked the same thing when I started, but let me show you something. Bam, and that's when you pull out your Impact magazine. Be ready, okay? So if my friends ask me that any meeting, 2-on-1 or 1-on-1 or anything, I have this right next to me. This is in my hip pocket. So, and the reason for that is, look at this. We are the nutritional sponsor of Major League Soccer. That's a big deal. So as soon as Mike says that to me, I'm going to be like, man, hey, I felt the same way because when I started, I had all these preconceived notions in my head, and my broke Uncle Bob used to tell me that I was getting scammed and all this different stuff, man. But here's what I found. Advocare is a nutritional sponsor of Major League Soccer. And man, let me show you a couple things in here. I don't know about what this pyramid scheme thing is you talk about, but this is our company magazine. And I just want to show you who aligns themselves with us, And then I'd pull it out to our endorsers, Rich Froning and Drew Brees and all these guys. And I'd go, Mike, man, I know you got these muscles and you work out. You know Rich Froning, right? This guy, 4-time CrossFit champ, he is an unpaid Advocare endorser. He only gets paid in products every month. He could be with any company in the world, and he chooses Advocare. And I know you're a Saints fan, bro. Drew Brees has been with Advocare since 2002. I don't know about you or this pyramid scheme thing, but what I do know is I don't think Drew Brees, NFL quarterback of the year, MVP, won a Super Bowl, is going to align himself with a pyramid scheme. So, man, that's just who's aligned here. And then I'll tell you what, something else that really caught my attention here, if he's a science nerd, I'll bring out the SciMed board, and I'll go, man, I don't know a lot about pyramid schemes, but I know Dr. Stanley Dudrick right there. Dude, he created intravenous feeding. He's been accredited with saving over 10 million babies' lives, and he has over 800 research publications out there. I don't think this guy is going to ruin his name with a pyramid scheme. So, man, I don't know a lot about that, but, dude, you got to get started with me, man. We're rocking and rolling.
Awesome. And that right there is how to use the Bulletproof Shield. That's exactly what that was, going through the endorsers, the Scientific Medical Advisory Board, and stories.
Yeah. And last thing I'll touch on here with this video is sometimes when people ask an objection, another way to get around that is I would go, well, Mike, what makes you ask that?
Yeah.
Ask why they're asking that question and actually get to the root of what their preconceived notion is, right? Because you might ask what a pyramid scheme is, and you might not actually even know what a pyramid scheme is. You just might have heard someone said it, or maybe because your mom was involved in something back in the day like this, or whatever. So I might go, well, hey, Mike, what makes you ask that? And you go, well, is it one of them things where I got to sell a certain amount of stuff every month?
Right.
Or I got to buy a certain amount every month, have it shipped to my door? And the reason I say that is this is what goes through. It went through my head when I signed up. I love Avocare products, but I didn't want someone going, you got to buy this much every month. So one more thing I'll share with you. At the back of this, and I love Mike because he has this tabbed out, very important, 4 ways to get involved with Avocare, and then the 5 ways to earn income. So when I'm sitting in a meeting, this finger can make you a lot of money if you learn this magazine and learn how to point. So when I'm sitting with Mike and he asks a pyramid scheme question, he goes, is it one of those things where you got to sell a certain amount every month, or you got to have an auto ship? And I go, well, hey, let me show you the 4 ways to get involved here, because this, Mike, is like an Advo menu. When I go out to eat, I love steak, but sometimes I might not want the filet mignon. I might not want to spend the money on it. Maybe I want some biscuits and gravy. I don't know. Maybe I want the number 1, whatever it is, right? So I'll sit there with him and go, hey, you can be a retail customer here, Mike, which means you can just buy Spark from me at full retail price, and you're getting your products, and I'm earning income, and you're feeling better. That's cool with me. Or, Mike, you can be a number 2, which is a wholesale customer. I mean, that's like Sam's Club or Costco. You pay that yearly fee, and then you get a discount. Yep. Same thing here in Avocare. It's $79 one time. And that Spark stuff you tried? You know how you said you liked it?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Dude, they give you 3 boxes for free for signing up. And you get 20% off for the entire year. Cool part, we're not a pyramid scheme, man. We have a joke here. Our products are so good, we don't have to make you buy them every month. So there's no auto ships, no monthly minimums, and you don't have to sell anything. So if I were you, I would choose one of these. But, man, I'm telling you, I would look at number 2 because that's going to save you the most money. So can we get you started today?
Yeah, you can sign me up again so I can get 3 more free boxes.
Right? Back in our day, you only got 2 boxes of Spark. So use the magazine, guys, and use some of these tools. When people have objections, remember, feel, felt, found. I feel you, Mike. I felt the same way, but here's what I found. And go into your story and some of those other things and just start sharing this naturally. But you have to be powerful in your story. You said something before the video that he who is confident wins. If you have confidence in your story, even if it's not perfect, I'm going to be excited because you're sharing it with passion. But if you're like, yeah, man, I started this Avocare thing, and, it Spark's great, and I might make some money with it, that is so weak. I mean, that is weak. And I understand because I was there. I was nervous when I started, but bro, this Spark stuff's great. Been drinking it every day for 4 years. Drew Brees actually been drinking it since 2002. But I tell you what, there's a powerful income opportunity here. We're the sponsor of Major League Soccer. We got Rich Froen and Drew Brees. We're in every NFL locker room. And I'm on track to pay down $10,000 in debt this year. Man, that's just where I'm going. And I wanted to share this with you because I know you're going to see this the way I do too.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. You got to be confident.
I was joking around before we started, and I said, I don't remember how to handle objections because I haven't gotten them in so long. I mean, you just get comfortable and confident, and the stronger you tell your story, you don't get those questions. But when you say it with doubt, people are automatically suspicious, and they'll ask question after question after question. But once you get good at it and say it with strength, they follow that excitement and that passion. There's no doubt in their minds because of how you're talking about it.
Definitely. Any other last piece of advice that we could give you guys is we get the same objections every day here. I have no time. I have no money. Is it a pyramid scheme? Is it safe? It's the same questions over and over and over again, and those are normal. We all ask them. So prepare yourself ahead of time. If you're going into a call with a friend, practice how you're going to respond to that. Practice in front of a mirror. Call your friend. Me and Mike role play all the time, just like we're doing right now, and we joke around back and forth, but it's practice that way when you get those questions. you know how to segue. Because at the end of the day, the reason we want to show you this video is every time you share Advocare with someone, what's the goal?
Move it to the next step.
Get them to the next step, which is 3-way call with your mentor, 2-on-1 meeting with your mentor, or a mixer or a webinar. Okay? And you got to learn how to transition. Hey, when can I get you for 15 minutes to share this message with you, sit you down, set a professional meeting, and go that way. So hopefully this video helped you a little bit, guys. We wanted to do something a little different for you than a typical phone call, and we wanted to have a little fun today. So I think next week we're going to do another video, and we'll just see what happens. So leave us some feedback below or above, wherever this shows up on Facebook, and let us know what you think. Have a great day.